Os. All right, we're going to do 3 types of Koshi Gurumas. Not really 3 types, it's sort of, yeah, it's 3 different sort of entry into Koshi Guruma. Okay, now, Koshi Guruma in the classic sense, sleeve, lapel hand goes all the way back. I pull him forward, turn, control the head, hip goes across, I lift, and he goes right over my back. Real classic Koshi Guruma. What happens a lot of the time with Koshi Guruma is I'm going for this Koshi Guruma, I'm pulling him forward, and I think, oh, I don't know if I can do it, and then I want to bail, but now he's already behind me. He wraps around my body, and now he can take me straight backward, okay? So if you're in this position with Koshi Guruma, you're already committed. You have to bring his head forward, right? Because if you could bring his head back, drop your hips, and now, big going backward position. You're going to launch me backwards, right? It's a battle for me to take him this way versus him to take me that way, right? That's why the initial pull is important, because if I can take him forward first, now I'm already sort of going towards my technique. Okay, as I'm coming through, look, if I hug this head, can you retract your head now? No. Very, very difficult. Look, now I can elevate here. Okay, and then take him right over, right? And then I rotate him, and then now he's down. Right, so everyone kind of knows this Koshi Guruma. Rarely ever see it hit in the practice room, right? I see a lot of this. I don't know, should I go for it, Ah! And then you get lifted, right? We see this. So we're going to do sort of a half turn Koshi Guruma. In wrestling, we call it the Sag Headlock, right? The Sag Koshi Guruma. So as opposed to going all the way throwing my hips across, I'm going to keep my hips a little bit shallow, okay? A lot of the times when the person's hip is sort of away from me, and I'm going to have a hard time getting my hips all the way across, this is a good time to hit it, okay? I'm going to throw my hips forward, and then look, I sag, and then I run, and then I drive my hips through, okay? Using my legs to drive, right? I sag into that pocket, and then I run my legs through. Okay, so George is right here. Have dominant position here. His hips are too far away. I cannot go throw my hips underneath, right? So I'm going to throw my hips across and sag my hips down to the ground, and then throw my hips through for the Sag Koshi Guruma. Okay, notice the position of my hips are very, very shallow. Let's look at the headlock position, right? If I have this, look, I'm bringing this head down. I'm almost connecting by the lat, right? And then keeping his head tucked under my armpit. And I'm almost like as if I'm throwing a baseball all the way across my body, right? Roll my hips, walking my hips, and driving, okay? So that would be sort of the Sag Headlock, very, very shallow. On the opposite side of the spectrum, right? This is going to be a little bit more harder to counter. I'm going to throw my hips all the way across. And now I have this bigger arching Koshi Guruma situation. Okay? Commonly you see this in wrestling a little bit more. When I have my hips all the way further out here, now if he could even trap around my waist, he's going to have a very hard time going back up and through. Okay? Here, right, notice the position of his back. Boom, squat down. Easy. Gone. Here, a little bit more difficult. Okay? So then I load him onto the hip, and then I bring my back to the floor. Right? So you got 3 different kinds of Koshi Guruma. All 3 of them have one thing in common: good head control. Right? If he could twist his head away, if he could look away, he could turn his shoulders out. Koshi Guruma, well, let's just go through here, right? Just do a bad one, just throw your hips across. Look, if I could turn my head, I could turn my shoulder, and then I could use my hip as a fulcrum to resist back in the opposite direction. If I could turn my head, turn my shoulder, throw my hips across. If he's pinning my head really tight here, and I can't turn my head away, I can't open my shoulders, and I can't throw my hips back, okay? And now, this hip is insufficient to pick me up and load me, so he's just going to sort of sag his hips down to the ground. Sag his hips, sag, 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 sag. Yeah. Right? And then go into that first Koshi Guruma, right? Or the second, or whichever one we did. So that's 3 types of Koshi Guruma. Thank you very much, George.